Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Saturday, February 17th. We're going to take a look at CEI today. So CEI coming down to sort of rock bottom here. Down to 15 cents in recent days, and is trying to push off of that, coming in with a nice day on Friday, up over 14%. The day before that it was up over 11%, so really trying to come off of these levels. Now what that means for the long term, I don't know, because the stock looks like this, and has had to effectuate things like these reverse splits, 1 for 50, which is quite hefty, and you know, it's it's a storied tale. And these levels were the ones that I felt like, while we're in a little bit of no man's land here, there's not a ton of price action to go off of. I tried to pull in what I felt were maybe the strongest levels. We may have to adjust these as time goes on and we get additional price action put in that just gives us more info. But for the time being, if it does continue to push, let's go that direction first. 20.79, so like a fraction of a penny. That's the annoying thing with these stocks that are so low cost is, these fractions of a penny become a thing. So 20.79, right? It ended Friday at 20.39. So, it's within a fraction of a penny. I see a resistance level there that could give it some stickiness. We'll see if it overcomes that 22.02 and then 24.13. Now that just stretches us about 4 cents from where we ended on Friday, but 4 cents is a pretty big lift. We see this like 2.5 cents on Friday was what brought it up over 14%. So, small changes are a big percentage gain or loss in stocks of this price. Now, if it does come down to 18.29, it kind of flew through here, and it flew through this range mostly last time as well, right? It came down here, and here, there wasn't a lot, didn't push a lot in either direction subsequent to that, and then it just kind of flew through it again. So to me, I don't know what there is in between here, because there's just sort of like a lack of price action. But that's why, this is all just to say, that's why I have the support level way down here at 18.29. Something may develop. If it did develop, I wouldn't be surprised if it was maybe around this like high 18s level, right around here, like 18.78, something like that. Or if it's even a little bit stronger, maybe up here, in the 19s. But this is just going off of like a 3-candle price action setup. So 18.29, 16.04. Again, similarly, there's more price action here, but a lot of it's not super strong. There may be something here around 16.89, but again, we're within a fraction of a penny. There may also be something here around, say, 17.73, but I tried to not clutter the chart too much. So where things were kind of moving versus where they were settling, I kind of tried to focus on the settle points versus the motion points. Now, those levels aside, let's flip over to the Think or Swim study and see where things are situated in the channel. Okay, so we see here on the Think or Swim study, there's a couple of things happening. One, our channel is getting quite compressed, especially compared to these volatile periods back here. The price action has been trickling down, but it's been so sort of slow and steady that it's compressing the channel quite significantly. So what that can mean sometimes is that there's an explosive move that's sort of getting ready to come. Now, we've seen in stocks previously with this similar compression, similarly stocks under long-term distress and at very low price, we've seen them just completely get delisted and go bust. And so could that happen here? I guess I haven't gone and looked in it at all of the whatever their situation is with potential delisting or whatever have you, but just keep that in mind. Just because I feel like some people get so bent out of shape when a stock that was 8 cents gets delisted, and we are talking about it being in a compressed channel and saying that it could have a big move. Yeah, the big move is either direction. Me saying that there could be a big move coming because we're in a compressed channel doesn't mean it's a big move up. People hear that because they want to buy something cheap and sell it for a lot of money, right? But just keep in mind, it could be in a compressed channel with a big move coming, and that big move could be down, and that could spell sort of devastation for the stock. So that all said, if we zoom in here, we see a couple of other interesting things happen. We had a trigger and a fire happen here. Now, that did bring the stock, when that triggered and fired, it did bring it down out the bottom of the channel. Not the biggest, most impressive move to me off of a trigger and a fire, especially with a stock of this sort of historic volatility. But we do see a recent trigger and fire as well, with the bearish momentum dying down. Now, that said, the bearish momentum was dying down as we went into this trigger and fire as well, and all that happened was it regrouped and pushed lower. So this obviously a little bit of a different situation because it's at least to the mid-range of the channel and beyond, right? This one was maybe barely making contact with the mid-range, and I don't think it did. If we look at these candles, it doesn't quite look like it touched it to me. So here we see that happening as it's pushing through the mid-range of the channel and now has put in a full candle atop the mid-range, in other words, treating it as support while stretching the upper bound of the channel. So as the channel begins to potentially get stretched and widened, that could open it up for increased movement within the channel itself. In other words, more regular volatility versus this just sort of like slow, consistent bleed down that we've seen and a compression of the channel. So we'll see if this trigger and fire leads to anything substantial. And again, that could go in either direction. Just keep in mind, it could go in either direction. And sometimes there's a counter move before the real move, meaning sometimes it comes up a little bit as it's just starting to fire off of the trigger and fire setup, and then it just plummets, right? Or vice versa. It comes down as it's starting to fire, and you may think, oh, this is the move, but no, it's a brief counter move before the real move. So just keep in mind that can happen. But, as it stands right now, like I said, compressed channel is the most interesting thing to me, and then this re-trigger and refire, because I'm going to count this as like not a super impressive move. So if we count this as a re-trigger and a refire, maybe this is going to result in an actual big move. Again, which direction that goes is, of course, the question. I did look at the short interest just out of curiosity. Market Beat has it only at about 5% of the float being shorted right now, so it doesn't seem like there's a lot there. But that data is also a little bit old, so who knows what's been happening since then. All right, folks, I hope that you're enjoying your long weekend, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.